your business to the next level? Well, we understand the need to stand out from the ever-growing list of competitors locally and globally. The need for more sales, better customer engagement, more media presence. The list goes on. Well, that's exactly why we exist. O Agency is a full 360 marketing strategy, consultation, digital marketing, and advertising agency with a sophisticated team dedicated to see your business thrive. Join our list of happy customers who trust us with the growth of their business today.
Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Hi guys, good evening. Thank you very much for joining. Um, it's still a lot of work trying to put together the platform so I can pass adequate information across. But after today's class, so there's so many people that want to join this class, but I think I'm gonna have to properly create a group and put everybody there so we can always know when we are going live. Also, if you subscribe and make sure you turn on the notification, you can always know when we are going live and when we upload new videos. And now the way this works is there are already Cinema 4D basic tutorial videos on my YouTube channel already, which is filled with great, amazing content, filled with so much details. All right, so the course basically takes you from a beginner to a professional level. But the reason why I'm doing this live streaming is so that it's a bit interactive. We are able to ask questions directly, and then I can walk you through some of those questions. Yeah, so yes, hi Siva, what's up? How you doing? It's been a long time. Thank you for joining. I hope you guys can all hear me. So I've been wanting to do this for a very long time now. All right, so I've just not had the chance to. Been busy with personal project, busy with work. But now that I moved over to the darker side, right? So I'm no longer free. I no longer work 9 to 5 anymore. I have my own business. I have my own studio. I run my own design clients. I service my own clients myself. So I finally have the time to do this, and yes, that's why I'm doing this. All right, so without further ado, let's talk about motion design. The motion design, also known as motion graphics, basically is just having moving graphics. That's what it is. But then when you bring in 3D into the equation, basically means moving graphics that are 3 dimension. All right, there's so many applications. You could use this for company videos, brand videos. You could also use it for explainer videos as well. You can use it to showcase a product. There's just so many applications when it comes to 3D motion graphics, right? And I'm going to be showing you basically every single thing you need to know about motion design. So we're going to start off from a beginner's level all the way to the point where you can get your own project, come up with an idea, come up with your concept, come up with a storyboard, put together your sequence, and then create your models yourself. If you have to source for models, I can tell you where to source for these models. Um, you know, texture, light, and then render to a final product. I'm also going to be showing you how you can composite your renders in After Effects as well. So right after this class, we're going to be moving into After Effects to talk about the basics of After Effects, talk about how you can take your 3D renders, composite them in After Effects, color correct, color grade, and all of that. Yes, so it's a fully packed course. So also I'm still trying to get around the old YouTube settings, streaming live. It's my first time, so apologies if I'm getting anything wrong. I'm still trying to get used to the terrain. So this is Cinema 4D. Cinema 4D, I decided to choose Cinema 4D for motion design because of its powerful tools. It basically allows you create motion design content in in a very, very quick way, right? So you're able to you get enough tools that help in creating animations, just very dope animations that on a normal day to take you some days to learn on some other softwares, right? So now I'm not dissing any other softwares, I'm just saying motion design with Cinema 4D is just awesome. So the first thing I want to show is just let me quickly walk you around the interface, right? So when you launch Cinema 4D, you get this. I'm currently on Cinema 4D 2023 version 1.3, right? But whatever Cinema 4D you're using, I'm sure everything is pretty much the same, just basic arrangement, things have changed. But if you can lay your hands on Cinema 4D 2023, I would advise you get that so that we're on the same page. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is to show you all these panels, right? How to navigate around. Now, if we hold down our middle mouse button, so I'm using a three mouse button. If you hold down the middle mouse button, I'm able to hold on the middle mouse button and then hold the Alt. I'm able to pan around my scene, right? So I'm holding down the Alt button on my keyboard. I think that will be Option on the Mac. Holding down my Alt button and then I'm pressing down my middle mouse button and I'm able to pan around. So that is how I'm doing that. And the next one is I'm going to show you how to orbit around. Now to orbit around, I'm simply going to hold the same Alt button, right? And then I'm going to click on my left button mouse, and then this way I'm able to orbit around my scene so I can see what's going on in my scene, right? So to zoom in or zoom out, I can just use my middle mouse button to scroll in or to scroll out, or I can use my Alt button or Option on the Mac and then click on my right mouse button, and that way I'm able to zoom in or zoom out my interface. Right now I know a lot of this might look a bit scary, but don't worry, we're going to break everything down. It's going to be very, very easy. All right, so let's go over that again. To pan around the scene, your Alt button, just know your Alt button is involved in everything. The Alt button is kind of a nosy button, always want to be part of everything, yeah. So just know Alt button is present in all the shortcuts to move around the scene. So the first one is you hold your Alt button and you are holding your you're holding your middle mouse button and you are able to pan around the scene. The next one, still on your Alt button, press down. You want to press your left mouse button, that way you're able to orbit around the scene. And finally, still your Alt button clicked, press down. You want to hold down your right mouse button and you're able to pan around the scene. Now this same thing I just explained can be done with these three buttons right here at the top right corner here. The first one, if you click and hold it, you're able to move the camera, that is pan around your scene. The second, you're able to zoom in or zoom out your scene by left clicking and holding this down. And then the last one here is to orbit the camera, so you can just press on your left button and then it performs the same function. But a lot of times I find myself using the Alt button because I feel that's a bit more accessible than going all the way down here to use this ones. Alright, so that's that about the interface. And if you look to the left hand side right here, we have our brush selection, and then right down here we have our move tool, and we have a rotational tool, which is the rotate, and then we have our scale tool. Now these are mostly the transform properties we're going to be using: the move, rotate, and the scale. And basically it's just explain what it does, right? So the move allows you to move things around the scene. The rotate allows you to rotate objects around the scene. The scale allows you to scale your object around the scene. So if I quickly come here to my right hand side and I drop a cube just by left clicking, and then I create this cube right here, you can see that we have this object panel right here. Now the object panel is basically where all the models you create will sit, right? So if you've ever used Photoshop before, when you create each layer, they are always stacked in the layer panel. Similarly here, when you create different objects, they are always stacked in your objects panel, right? If you've not used Photoshop, if you've ever used After Effects before, right, or After Effects, right, if you drop in layers, you can see the layers are arranged into the timeline. So similarly here as well, as you drop in models, as you build models, everything is going to be arranged in your object panel here. So if you click on the object, you can either click on the object by left clicking directly here, or you can left click directly on this object panel here. Now when you start creating a lot of designs and everything start getting clustered up, you might be finding it difficult to select them directly from the scene. So you might want to just click them directly from the object panel, which is why you should name properly, right? So you should name these things properly. So now I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to move up here. Now if you see, when we click on this, we have 3 axes here. So we have the x-axis, we have the z-axis, and we have the y-axis. Now if I turn my camera this way, this is the y-axis here, which allows us to move up or down, right? And this is the x-axis, which allows us to move left to right, which is what forms basically the 2D world, right? But now in a 3D setting, we have a third one, which is the z-axis, right? So this is what gives us that 3D space. Now you can see the way I am orbiting around my scene. I'm pressing down my Alt button and I'm moving close to the object here, and then left clicking it. Now I can as well move around here and then orbit around here. But the problem with this is, if I orbit around an empty space here, basically it's going to select this space as the pivot, or should I say pivot, whichever one, as the pivot to where it orbits around. Now if I select right here, it's going to put this in focus, right? So we can click on this, which allows us to move the object, right? So I can move it either in the y-axis or the x-axis or the z-axis. And the last one, which is the scale, I can either scale it here or here. Currently now it's scaling uniformly because it is still the primitive. So basically it has not been made into an editable mesh, right? For me to make this into an editable mesh, I can simply click on the C, or I right click here and then I go to make editable, so which is this right here, and then see the shortcut C, right? When I make this editable, I'm able to scale individually in this different axes, so that's that. Do that. So we're back here, here, and here. All right, so I'm just undoing that. So basically that is the 3D transform tools, right? Just there. Now every single object in the 3D world is made up of polygons, vertices, and edges, right? So quickly, let me go to my display tab right here and select the Gouraud shading line. So basically you can see that we have lines around here going around this object. Now if I make this object editable by right clicking, I'm making it editable, and I click this object, I'm able to select each of these surfaces, right? So I can select the polygon mode, which basically allows me to select each of these polygons, right? And this is basically the foundation of modeling, right? You convert it into an editable polygon, and then you begin to move all these box shapes around. This is how you model, right? And we also have the edges, which allows you to select the edges. So I can select this edge, I can move this edge this way, I can move this one this way, right? So I want to make sure I click on the coordinate system. Yes, so I can move it this way, I can move it this way, I can move it that way, right? So that's the edge. The last one right here is the vertex, right, or point. Some 3D software we call them points, some we call them vertices, but basically they are the same thing, right? So you click on this and I'm able to select each of these points as well, and I can move them in, I can begin to edit them and all of that, right? This is a quick example. So I'm going to click on my surface right here. I have my surface mode. I'm going to right click, I'm going to click on inset, right? So I'm just going to click on the offset value to be 5, leave it to 5. I'm going to click apply, right? So you see what's happening right here. I've created another external polygon, right? And I can begin to increase this value right here, and you can see it update live. Now I can right click again, and then I say I want to bevel this, and I can just select say let me give it an offset of 15, and then I can extrude the polygon, right? So basically now I have started modeling this piece now. So this is how you model, right? So when we get to modeling class, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about modeling. For now, we're just doing the basic introductions, right? So that's that. You can also select the edges here, and you can start going crazy about this. You can start modeling this. All right, you could pull this right here, and you could pull this to the back, you know, and then we have a box that has been deformed, right? So that's how you will go about modeling that. So I want to do something very interesting for this first class. I'm going to delete this guy, and I'm just quickly going to create a 3D text, right? So I'm going to come here, select this text, and boom, voila, we have a text right here. Simple, easy, straightforward, right? So I'm just going to change this to Cinema 4D, make that cap, and there we go. And I can quickly change the fonts. I'm going to use Poppins Black, so that we have some very nice big heavy font going there. So right now on this guy, I'm